just to introduce myself really briefly, I'm the Director of Global Research Books and Reference at OUP. I've been there for almost 30 years in a variety of different roles. I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes today about the work that we're doing to support emerging scholars and diverse research publishing in a changing academic world. So about OUP. At OUP, we've championed fresh thinking and access to knowledge for centuries. Our first book was printed in 1478, just 2 years after Caxton set up the first printing press in England. And we continue to be at the forefront of research and education. So we have about 5,000 people globally in around 50 countries. We publish thousands of titles each year, from dictionaries, teaching materials, journals and children's books, to monographs, sheet music, and student texts. And from a child learning to read to a researcher expanding the frontiers of their field, our work moves knowledge and learning forward. Our mission is to further the university's objective of excellence in research, scholarship and education through our publishing worldwide. And we believe that our mission, our global reach and our depth of expertise set us apart. This, along with our commitment to enriching lives through education, underpins absolutely everything that we do. And we share the university's uncompromising standards, their defining qualities, and belief in the transformative power of education and research. We serve the academic community like no other publisher. We work with institutions and learned societies to bring knowledge to students and researchers worldwide. And our scale and global reach really allows us to work closely with the scholarly community to align our publishing strategy with the evolving content needs of the university sector worldwide. We work with academic communities to curate and connect ideas, to inspire thinking and deliver impact. And we focus an awful lot of attention on supporting our authors in finding a global audience for their work and maximising the impact of their research. I know lots of you are working on very interesting things. I was looking at the programme for today, and I'm stunned by the range of things that you're all working on. And we really do try to take all of the work we publish to as wide an audience as possible globally. And thanks to our mission, we reinvest in our people, in our publishing and the university. So our surplus flows back to Oxford University and helps to sustain the sort of world-leading research, teaching and learning, making us really part of the academic ecosystem. We're really proud, to have supported the Clarendon Scholarship Programme from its inception. It's a wonderful initiative, giving all of you, and I know some of you are Gates, so from Cambridge, and I'm sure this is very similar there, but giving you all the freedom to pursue your academic and educational interests at Oxford and Cambridge. And we look forward as well to supporting those who come after you too in achieving their academic aspiration. So I want to just speak very briefly to the themes we see here. I mean, any one of these could sustain an entire conference, let alone a 15-minute talk. But this is what's changing the global academic publishing landscape for us at the moment. So digital and AI, open access, trust and integrity, academic freedom of speech, and funding. Any one of these offers all kinds of complexity. You will all know, I imagine, the degree to which both digital and AI are turning things on their head. OUP is really well advanced in our digital transformation. Everything we publish has a digital route to market. We sort of pride ourselves on making everything available in the format in which any user, any reader would want to consume it. But AI is changing the game again for all publishers and changing it at an exponential rate. In this sort of environment in which misinformation proliferates, we believe that a trusted and authoritative brand such as Oxford University Press really comes to the fore, and that speaks too to the trust and integrity piece here. It's something we're thinking about a lot, how we can make our brand resonance, sort of take trusted information to readers everywhere. But we're navigating a really complex landscape where readers and users can find information without ever visiting a publisher's online site or indeed a bookshop. And this adds complexity to how we engage with discoverability and deliver reach. We're also ourselves developing some AI research assistants for some of our online products. So far, we have launched AI-supported search on the Oxford English Dictionary, on our entire sort of academic website, and on a new resource we launched just 3 days ago for practicing lawyers. We have a lot of other initiatives ourselves in the works drawing on Gen AI tools. But that aside, you'll have read many court cases, lots of publishers' work has been essentially pirated and ingested into large language models. And in that environment, we're trying to constantly figure out the ways in which we make something different ourselves, or we can offer a different experience for users and readers. Open access has obviously also changed the landscape for publishers in many ways by shifting business models to accommodate research being made freely available online. And journals publishing typically leads the way here. I work in books rather than journals, but funding for open access, as many of you all know, hasn't always sort of kept pace with the laudable demands for information to be free. In addition, higher education is facing multiple threats in the UK and globally, including government funding cuts, rising operational costs, political interference, and the marketisation of education, where universities have to rely on private funding and on philanthropy really to compensate for cuts that are being made. And this is a model which is difficult to sustain in the long run. We'll have read about institutions closing departments, indeed entire institutions being concerned about their futures. This obviously varies from country to country, but it's a sort of prevalent theme. Lastly, academic freedom of speech faces challenges, as you all know, including measures designed to restrict what is taught or discussed even in universities, political interference, pressures to align with certain ideologies, and the culture of self-censorship. All of these things can limit open discussion. And there's also concern over external funders being able to shape research agendas. In this climate, it's increasingly important for publishers and for academic institutions and educational institutions all to maintain a space where diverse ideas and author groups can flourish. We are all of us fortunate, those of us in Oxford, to work within or belong to a university where the Vice-Chancellor, Irene Tracy, has emphasised the critical importance of freedom of speech, that it must be upheld with respect and courtesy within the limits of the law. And Irene has done a massive amount to reaffirm that importance of free speech, diversity of thought, and the vibrant exchange of ideas, including her new Termini Sheldonian series event, which is a really interesting forum that's designed to provide students and staff alike with opportunities to hear from scholars and others across different fields. So some of the steps that we're taking at OUP to support emerging scholars and a more diverse range of research publishing include demystifying the publishing process. We're working really closely, in particular, to support early career researchers as a group. Sorry, I'm aware I'm coming in and out. Forgive me. We've been running workshops to help them understand how the publishing process works, how they can frame the USP for their own research projects. We've created a number of videos to help make the publishing process make sense, what actually happens once you submit a book to a publisher and how the process works. And other than that, we're also taking a lot of steps to improve diversity and inclusion in our publishing. So, as I said at the beginning, we're sort of a 500-year-old company. You can imagine it takes quite a long time to turn that sort of business around. We're a very traditional publisher. But we've done a lot of work to understand the demographics of our author pool in relation to the fields in which we have presence. And to broaden our authorship, traditionally it's been very UK, US, Europe dominated, very white male authorship actually over the decades and centuries. And we're trying to take very significant steps to engage with more inclusive subjects in a representative way. And this will remain a priority for us for the future. An interdisciplinary approach is something I'll come on to on the next slide, actually, with a new project that we've recently launched. And I've already said how proud we are to support and invest in the Clarendon Scholarship Programme. Lastly, I touched on the need for us to understand and respond to the impact of digital and AI. We're trying to support our authors also as they negotiate what is a complex AI landscape and just keep them up to speed with how things are changing. So Oxford Intersections. In March this year, we launched one of our newest initiatives, which is Oxford Intersections. This is an online-only collection of brand new interdisciplinary research. Well, in fact, you can actually read more about it if you hop onto the QR code there. And it tackles some of the world's most urgent and challenging subjects. In moving beyond, sorry, I don't know how I've done that. Well, anyway, it doesn't much matter. Forgive me. In moving beyond a more traditional sort of discipline structured approach to our publishing, we've been encouraging a diverse community of voices to really lean in on some of these issues from different perspectives. And we're using this counterpoint to prompt new connections and insights that transcend disciplinary boundaries. So the first two topics we launched with were AI in society and culture and racism by context. And we're going live with an intersection called social media in society and culture next month. And we have others in active planning and development on borders, migration, disasters, cultures of waste, climate adaptation, gender justice, protest, the future of work, cultural heritage, aging, environmental change and human experience, and many more. Each topic will build and evolve over 3 years and will ultimately contain about 300 articles, all of which are original research. And with Intersections, we're sort of hoping to collapse the gap between research and its real world impact. so keeping pace more with the rapid speed of change and anticipating research development. Intersections joins what is a pretty established family of major large-scale research projects from Oxford University Press, and it's filling a gap for us in the research journey between introductory content and more in-depth, length focused pieces of research scholarship. So, and as I say, you can read more about it at the QR code here. And then the Early Career Researcher First Book Prize. So this year we announced our inaugural First Book Prize. This is an annual prize award, which will give up to 10 early career researchers the opportunity to publish the book, in their original innovative work, fully open access. It includes a full open access fee waiver, in addition to publication in hardback. And we're going to be announcing our first cohort of winners, I think probably in September of this year. So OUP prides itself on very rigorous peer review. As part of our work to uphold trust and integrity, everything that we publish has been through peer review from established scholars worldwide. And so the submissions for this prize are going through 3 rounds of peer review, and we have a very senior global board making the ultimate prize decision. We have 17 titles on our shortlist. They're out for review at the moment. It was the first time we've run this, as I said, and we had 100 and something applications, so we were pretty pleased about that. We really want at OUP to help unlock the opportunity for those at the start of their careers and make their work available to as wide an audience as possible, both within and beyond academia. So the recommendation will go to the delegates of the press, who are a senior group of Oxford academics who approve or deny everything that we publish, and we'll announce them shortly after that. And then next year's prize will open early in January to submissions. Again, you can read more about that here if that's something that's of interest to any of you. That's all I had to say. Happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you very much into these insights into Oxford University Press and beyond. This is for you. Thank you very much. So now it's time for you to become a bit active, because you now need to choose which subsession you want to attend.